It's planting time at Casa de Rosado. What's going in our garden beds this week? It's a hot one. Temperatures have been in the 90s and upper 80s, and we are watering our brand new plants and herbs. It takes a special consideration of containers and placement of plants within shady or microclimate areas to retain moisture, mulching. There are all kinds of ways we can conserve water. Selecting plants that love heat is one beneficial way of making use of a hot and dry climate. Here we have started some canna and other bulbs that love heat in these black pots. They absorb heat. We started these in early May and have had them outside, and they're just about ready to put in the ground. We'll be transferring them to garden beds in which they'll just love this heat and will be ready to go. The difference between our 4-year perennials versus our first and second year. The peonies here have developed very deep roots and need very little watering. Our poppies, however, are first and second year perennials, and they need a bit of help to get established, but once they are, they're going to perform very well. Now, we've selected a lot of other different plants that will be enduring heat and dry spells, and that includes this beautiful globe thistle, and we have other varieties too as well: blazing star, lavender, coneflowers, black-eyed Susans, butterfly bushes. A lot of these plants will just be fabulous when it starts getting dry. Here we have our hollyhocks, and they do well not only in heat, but they attract aphids. Why would I want a plant that attracts aphids? I set them in the side of the garden, and they will be drawn away from the other plants rather than inhabiting our milkweed or other species. They will focus on the hollyhocks and give them a break. Selecting native plants is also a way to find species that are drought and heat tolerant. Look for sun-loving plants. Here we have a mugwort. It is about ready to bloom. Huaútli, also known as amaranth, is one of the most overlooked plants in Meso-American culture. Its significance in both dietary, spirituality, and its ability to produce in high heat and drought conditions make it an exceptional plant. It's a plant that's both high in protein and low in glycogen, which made this a fabulous grain that was ground into tortillas as well as tamals. The Aztec warriors used it in their diets and believed that it would give them superpowers, much like we at one point in the 70s thought Wheaties gave our sports heroes superpowers. Huaútli was so important of a crop that Cortes and the Catholic Church banned the production of Huaútli and destroyed thousands of acres of crops and forbid the Aztecs from eating it as a way to conquer the city. The warriors often would form little figures out of amaranth and honey and eat them as offerings to the gods to give them strength in their endeavors in war against the Spaniards. You can still find these amaranth and honey snacks. They are called alegrias today, and you'll often find them in the shapes of skulls with corn teeth, or even in the shapes of flowers or squares like in bars, and they are both very nutritious as well as delicious. We've already prepared a garden bed. It likes a high pH soil in about the 6.2 range. We're going to sprinkle direct sow these on top of the soil. We have a lot of mulch already around, and we're going to mist them very lightly over a couple of weeks until the roots are established. We're looking forward to your visit at Casa de Rosado. Our gardens will open during our mercados on Sundays, which we will announce. We're hoping to reopen in July sometime. So stop on by, learn a little bit about your history through plants in our walking history garden.